Hey guys, it's Victoria. Welcome back to FemmeHead. Today I want to talk about what I do to prep for my period and a few things I do like during my period to make it all just go that much smoother and just be easier on me, because I like to allow myself to take a step back during my period and leading up to it. I chart my cycle so I know within a few days when my period is going to be each month. Obviously it varies by a day or two depending on various factors, but I know when to expect it. I know like, okay, period's gonna hit sometime this week. This is a big change for me from my early 20s and my teen years. Probably the first 6 or 8 years of having my period, I never knew when to expect it. I didn't track it. I didn't even know, didn't even keep track of when my last period was, and so it always caught me off guard and surprised me. And I never had period products on hand. At the time I was using tampons and stuff, but I never had those on hand. But I'm a changed woman, and it's so much better to chart your cycle and know when to expect it. So if you are curious to learn how to chart your cycle, shameless plug, I have a course for that. My Chart Your Cycle course is for those of you that are new to charting your cycle and want to learn more, either for a natural form of birth control or to just be more in sync with your cycle. And that's the best gift I can give to you, is just syncing your life up as much as possible to your cycle. It just makes a big difference in a lot of different areas of life. All right, let's get into what I do each month. And this is in no particular order. I kind of split it between pre-period things, during period things. So the first thing is I meal plan the whole month at once. When I'm sitting down to plan June, I plan all of June's meals based on trips, activities, events. I put onto my monthly calendar when each phase of my cycle is, so I know my period is gonna hit these 5 days roughly, luteal phase, ovulatory phase. And so I have on my calendar when my phases are, and so I know which week I'm going to be on my period, and I know myself. And on my period, I'm not much into cooking as it is, but especially on my period, I just like to make things easier on myself. So I try to meal plan very easy, simple, crowd pleaser meals. The quicker, the easier, the better. And if I have the energy or the forethought, prepping some meals, simplifying meals helps so much, because I'm not in the mood, do not have the energy, do not have the care to cook on my period. Number 2, factor in me time. Don't plan a bunch of outings. Just focus on staying home, self-care, snuggling in, all that good stuff. I know I get fairly irritable leading up to my period. More leading up to my period than my actual period. I get so irritated. It's not good. But it's just, I know that about myself. I know I'm going to get irritated leading up to my period. And so I just need to schedule in alone time. Time to myself, away from the boys, away from people, even though I'm alone most of the day, minus having the boys with me. But having alone time as a mother, as a parent, is crucial. So I like to get up early. I, have time during their naps. It's usually when I work. Anytime they're sleeping, I'm working, except for nighttime. But just factoring in time for just whatever I want to do, whether it's laying in vegging, sleeping in, doing work, whatever, I need that for my mental health, and it helps with how irritable I get. If I'm not getting any time to myself, watch out world, I'm irritated, but I know that at myself, factor it in. Going along with that, don't put a lot on the calendar, work-wise, social-wise, event, appointments, whatever. Just kind of take a couple days off. I know you can't completely just shut it off for a couple days, but you don't have to plan drinks with friends or taking your kids to a trampoline park. Just stay home. It's gonna be okay for whatever number of days you need to for your period. Usually the first 3 days of my period, that's when I'm kicking back, relaxed, and not doing anything crazy. This last period, I took the boys to a community center play thing on day 1 and 2 of my period. I don't know what I was thinking. Or maybe it was day 1 and 3 of my period. I literally felt like I was walking around trying not to just bleed everywhere, and I was so crampy. Other than that, it was fine, but I was just so uncomfortable that I couldn't enjoy myself. So I'm not going to do that next cycle. Number 4 is make sure I have my period products on hand. I am trying to switch more to menstrual discs, trying to figure those out. It's not going super great, but it's not going terrible either, somewhere in between. But if you use tampons, pads, whatever, make sure you have those on hand. Make sure you put a couple extra in your bag, in your car, wherever. So if you're out and about and it surprises you, you have some period products to where you're not rolling up toilet paper in your underwear. I do that all the time. Or if you use reusable products, making sure that they're like cleaned and sanitized and ready to go. So I usually, like, once my period finishes up, I take whatever period products I've used that are reusable and I like sanitize them and then put them back in the linen closet for next cycle. Going along with this, if you need any sort of like pain meds management, like making sure you're stocked up on that as well, whether it's Myadol, Tylenol, whatever it is. Depending on the time of year and my cravings, making sure you have snacks on hand, whether that's fresh fruit, chocolate, candy, junk food, whatever. Like, you know what you're gonna crave on your period, and like, don't be that girl that's like, no, I'm not gonna do it this cycle, I'm not gonna buy myself stuff. Have that Ben & Jerry's on hand, have that chocolate on hand, fresh fruit, whatever it may be. You know what you're craving, make sure it's in your kitchen. I try to do a whole house clean leading up to my period, like one of the days before my period, because then I feel better about just like taking a couple days off, letting the mess build up a little bit, and then towards the tail end of my period, cycle day 5, this past one, I get that burst of energy where I'm like, okay, yeah, like it's over, I'm gonna do another like whole house kind of deeper clean, and then it just feels like a reset and a refresh going into the next cycle. And so kind of setting yourself up to like head into your period with the clean house. It's going to make you feel more at ease, more relaxed, more willing to let yourself just like kick back and then sleep in and go to bed early. Mine is more going to bed earlier because I love waking up early. I don't love the actual like getting out of bed, but I love my alone time in the morning. It goes back to like making sure I have time for myself and a time alone, time away from the boys, time to do my own things, and usually that's work. And like morning time is so valuable to me that I will go to bed earlier. That way I can still wake up. I wake up at 5 a.m. on the weekdays and 6 a.m. on weekends. And it just like, it seems crazy and it seems insane. Like, why would you wake up that early? Just sleep in. It makes all the difference to like my mental health and like well-being to wake up early. I don't push myself during the day on my period. Like, I am lazy mom. Like, easy meals. If you want to have some screen time, go for it. Like, play by yourself. We're not going to go do anything crazy out and about. Like, we're just going to hang out at home and have a good time. And like, if that's a movie and popcorn at 3 p.m., if that's like a 11 a.m. bath time, whatever it is, like, I just give myself a break during those days. Like, and it's really just the first 3 days of my period. And it's like, is that the end of the world? No. Like, going along with like pushing myself too much. And one of the reasons for this, besides like getting irritable in my luteal phase, is those first like 2-3 days of my period, if I'm like power cleaning, going on long walks, doing anything too physical, I get such bad pelvic floor cramps. One of the perks of giving birth. I know that I need to take it easy or else I'm gonna pay the price down there. Ugh, this one, but making sure I'm drinking plenty of fluids. I am perpetually dehydrated. It seems like I can never drink enough water. Like, I have coffee with me right now instead of water. I need to go get water, but anyways. It's really important during like around that time, just with like digestion, bloating, cramping, all of the period things, water makes it better. And it's annoying and I hate it and I wish I could just drink coffee and live my life, but I need to drink more water. So like putting a little extra effort into the water is very helpful during my period and like leading up to it and throughout all the phases. But easy, gentle movement instead of intense exercise. I cut myself a slack. I don't care if I move with the first like 2 days of my period, but then slowly I kind of like get the energy and the desire to do like gentle stretching, yoga, whatever it is. And then I save my more like, not high intensity workouts, because I don't do high intensity workouts, but like riding on our like stationary bike and that sort of stuff, or God forbid I would go for a run, super long walks. I save that for later in my cycle. And then going along with that, I have been trying to be better at incorporating 5 to 10 minutes of my like physical therapy exercises that I was given months ago for my pelvic floor, because I know that's gonna just benefit so many areas of life. The cramping, all my cramps are in my pelvic floor these days. And I feel like if I work on strengthening and relaxing and like healing my pelvic floor, that's gonna help with the cramps. It's also going to help with my inability to wear menstrual cups. And I think most of my issues with wearing menstrual discs. My pelvic floor is just like, ejecting things from my body. So we're working on it and incorporating those like exercises, strengthening my core, strengthening and relaxing the balance of your pelvic floor that you need. Anywho, those are 11 things that I do before and during my period to just prep for it and make it go as smoothly as possible. I feel like periods get a bad rap. This is a beautiful, amazing thing that our body does. Like, I don't have terrible periods. Well, I know plenty of people have terrible periods where it's like debilitating, the pain, other issues. Most of my issues are centered around my pelvic floor, and that's something I can work on. These are the things that I am doing to prep for and just make it easier. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Maybe I gave you some ideas. If you do anything to prep for your period that I didn't talk about, let me know down below. Or if I did talk about it, just let me know down below what you do. I like to see those kind of things. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!